Good afternoon, everybody. I wanted to talk to you about, does the narcissist, do they reap what they sow? Or how do they do that? How does that show? How does that show up? Because a lot of people, they don't believe these days that the narcissist doesn't reap what they sow. And I've kind of dealt with this myself, and that's why I'm kind of going over it, rehashing it and stuff like that. Because, a lot of times you gotta realize that early on in the love bomb phase, and they were putting off this before you got to really know them, you kind of looked at them as if they had some sort of swagger, or they had some kind of charisma. They had some sort of calm coolness to them, and you kind of you saw the beauty in that. Now, don't get me wrong, that's not at all the case, but originally, under the seduction, this is something that a lot of us did see. Because this is the thing, as much as the narcissist likes and envies things about us, we also initially see some things that we like about them. And now they're all usually on the part of them liking us. Usually that's true, and that doesn't ever fail. But in the case of what we see, what we like in them, usually is fake and a lie, and we usually get over it at some point in time. But we do like the idea of certain things. Sometimes the way the narcissist could conduct themselves in the very beginning, not knowing that they had a facade up and that sort of thing, under the spell, basically, a long time ago when you were unawoke. You would see them as somebody that's in control, maybe, and somebody who looked secure and independent, when at the end of the day, none of which was true. And so I think because we grew up in the same families, that we went in completely different ways, and we're on different sides of the spectrum. But when we meet, we think that we could have something. And little did we know, they're using us, and sometimes we know, we have inklings of it, because we run over our intuition until we really wake up from the spell and break this generational curse, right? I talk about this on the channel sometimes, because this is a generational curse you're breaking. But in the case of the narcissist, do they ever reap what they sow? And then, I've heard people talk about that they're, when you're a soulless being and you can't love, it's kind of hard for things to attract back at you, as far as you reaping a harvest that's negative from that, because they're able to kind of like, it just kind of, the things that would normally hit an average human being who loves, it would just kind of more or less bounce off of them. Well, maybe some of that to some degree is a little bit of the case, but I think that we still, God gives us a certain type of reciprocity, in all of this. As much as, we conduct life out here, and we need to love ourselves, and we need to expect reciprocity with anybody that we deal with. In fact, the number one, in my opinion, the greatest red flag, whether someone's a narcissist or just narcissistic, or somebody who doesn't have good thoughts in mind for you, is if you don't get reciprocity, meaning if you don't get the fuel and the energy and the time that you put into it and the love that you put into it, if you don't get that same energy, fuel, and love back, then they're not good for you. Because you should always get reciprocity, meaning you should always get what you put into it. You should always get the same output from the other individual if they love you. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong, there's going to be times where you're going to give a little bit more fuel in a relationship, or a little bit more love, or a little bit more help, of course, right? But that's what a relationship is, because you're going to be down sometimes too. You're going to be out for the count sometimes too. You're going to need help sometimes too. And that individual, your counterpart, that person's going to give more. Okay, but it's going to be, on an average case, it's going to be at the same level. It's going to be iron sharpening iron. You're going to be at the same plane. The problem with the narcissist is, well, not only are they all the way down here in the gutter in hell, and you're up here, but they're always takers. Okay, they're a hollow shell. They have nothing inside. They just have this shiny mask on that they seduce with. There's nothing past the mask except evil. And to be honest with you, everything's evil with them, because even the mask is evil. The evil starts with the mask being evil. But then after you find out there's nothing in here but housing devils, evil thoughts and contention, no love, hate, anger, these are thieves of everything from energy to your love to control, your life and your life force energy, your breath. They just want to stress you out. They want to burden you down with everything that they're responsible of and for. They like to put their responsibility and their burdens for all the torturous things that they do, and they want to throw it on your back, and they expect you to carry it. And because a lot of times that we grew up in these types of families where we were used as supply from birth, right? And until we woke up, that, we can be used to falling trap to that. But, God is watching over us, and God knew that he sent enough of these people in our lives, unfortunate for us, being under a generational curse, that we had to break because we didn't do anything. We're innocent, but sometimes just because it happens to be, somebody allowed it in your genetics down to the third and the fourth generation, you have to deal with it too, even if you're innocent, because you have that same genetic code. But God has given a lot of us a way out, all of us a way out, if we operate correctly. And for the chosen on this platform, we the ones that have woke up, or the ones that we decided we weren't going to be an enabler, we decided that we needed reciprocity. We knew that we were better than this, and we knew that we were at some point giving too much, way too much, and it wasn't fair to us. And I think that to some degree we had a lot of inklings of this. It's just, when you're enmeshed with these types of families, it could be very powerful, that spell that they cast over you. Because you're talking about, since the day you come out your mama, man, it's like you're already being abused, man. When you're being used for supply for somebody, you got to call it abuse, because that's what it is. And so what you consider love for yourself, or what you considered a rough day, may not feel so rough to you as much as it would to somebody else, because you were enmeshed in this and you were used to dealing with it on a daily basis. And that's why a lot of times that, people out there that didn't grow up in these families but land themselves with a narcissist, like a normal individual, or someone like that, or someone that may have dealt with a little bit of narcissism in their life, but not to the level that we did, and they land themselves with a narcissist, they can't handle this type of abuse. And I'm not saying that we should gloat about it, because it's not a good thing. We all know that. It didn't get us anywhere, but it did wake us up, and it got us to the strength that we could walk away. And whatever doesn't kill you does make you stronger. If it's unbeknownst to you, like it was to us, see, we didn't ask for this, but because we were burdened down with it, we had to learn to find ways to wake up and know that, hey, life does seem a little extra difficult for me. Life does seem like there's nobody in my corner cheerleading for me. But this was what life seems to be like, so I need to get up and I need to continue on, because I'm a soldier, And so that's what we did. And because of that, a lot of times we had gratitude when a lot of people wouldn't. A lot of times we were thankful for what we did have. And, even though things weren't right in our life, we always try to find the good in it, because we know goodness is out there. We know God is out there, and we know that He cares. And a lot of times we would know that, maybe we lacked understanding. But we definitely didn't lack the love. A lot of times we didn't lack the empathy. We didn't lack the loyalty. But we knew that God is who He says. And because of that, He allowed us to wake up. Now, does the narcissist ever reap what they sow? They reap what they sow every day, because they are losing their soul on a daily basis. And the longer they're on this earth, and the more torture and treacherous things that they're doing for people, this will become their legacy when they have to approach the Almighty. This is not going to be good for them. It's not, and you know it, and I know it. The longer you've been with a narcissist, you will find that they are evildoers. There's nothing but continuously thoughts of evil in their mind and their hearts, unfortunately. Did we try to help them? Is that maladaptive? Yes, all of that's true. Can we help them? No. Everybody has decisions to make. Everybody's an adult. At some point in time, you have to accept who you are, meaning you got to be able to look at yourself in the mirror, and you need to be able to dissect who you are, meaning you need to go into your shadow self. You need to look at things on a hard level, and what do we always say? What do I always say is, like, you want to stay in reality, and that's the problem with the narcissist. See, they always want to draw people into their fantasy. They're stuck in the fantasy, and what they do and how they get empaths is they drag them into the fantasy, or they walk you into it, because you can't wait to go into it with them because you're being love bombed. But just know that every day that the narcissist is alive, that they are performing evil, and they're going to have to deal with this at some point in time. You can brush it under the carpet. You can make mounds under the carpet all you want. Okay, and that in itself is a hindrance, and that in itself is a terrible thing, because when you're not growing, when you're stunted in growth and you're not giving anything good, you're never a blessing to anybody for nothing, you're always a taker, that's a horrible feeling. You're miserable. And there's nothing that anybody can do about that. It doesn't matter what type of supply or how many pieces of sources of supply that you have. And if they want to call us toasters, if they want to call us a refrigerator, or whatever they want to call us, a tool, fine. It doesn't matter how many so-called empathic tools you have out there. I don't give a damn. They're never going to be happy. It doesn't matter how much money they have. It doesn't matter what type of love and admiration is coming towards them, because at the end of the day, all they are doing is abuse. And they have little short fixes for they're not what they call narcissistic supply, which is just an addiction. And because they are so addicted, it has taken over themselves, and it is completely using them like a puppet. And a lot of times we think that, we're being used like a puppet, or we have been in the past. So we woke up, we have, okay? And that's why when you wake up, you want to walk straight away. You want to make an about face, and that is to really say, yo, man, I'm not doing this no more. I know what I'm dealing with. I want success in my life. I mean, the longer you follow the narcissist is not successful, and then you're letting them lead you, at some point, because they continue to make rules and all these laws in the house, and try to put fear in your life, and manipulate and gaslight, and then you put them in control, right? It don't matter if it's a man or a woman narcissist. You're going to put them in control. They got to control everything, from your breakfast to your lunch to your dinner to the way you breathe. Okay? And you're going to have to. If you become primary supply for them, you're going to have to abide by those laws and those rules. It's a horrible thing. Wake up, leave as fast as you can, and don't look back. Don't turn into Lot's wife. Don't turn into a pillar of salt, y'all, because guess what? I mean, that woman is famous, but you know what she's famous for? She's famous for dying, for doubting. She turned to a pillar of salt. We know her husband's name. We know her husband's brother's name. I think we even know her daughter's names, but we don't know that. We don't know at all what her name was, because she's almost obsolete. Don't doubt, because God will make you obsolete. Don't doubt God, and don't doubt that He's got full control of what's going on in your situation. He will take care of you, and don't worry about the narcissist reaping what they sow. They reap it every day, and they never grow, and they're never happy. They don't understand happiness. Their love is not love, y'all. It's power and it's control. That's what they call love. And you know, what they enjoy is sadism and making you malleable to hammer you into place like a piece of metal. No. Anytime that you act and operate like that, and you can't, and you're devising evil to somebody's destruction when they're doing nothing but goodness in the world, and they're stuck in a rut because of the family that they grew up in before they wake up, and you're using and abusing them, you can't ever be happy. It's absolutely impossible. That vibration will never get above pride. It will never get to a courage level. And the one thing, if there's anything that the narcissist wishes and envies about you so much, is that you could move about this earth and you have courage, damn it. Maybe you failed a lot. Maybe you were used a lot before you woke up. But guess what? You were authentic most of the time. Outside of the people pleasing, when you wake up to that, you usually put that to death too. But you were a lover. They wish they had that. You have courage, y'all. And they can never get past pride. Because what comes before the fall but pride? And that's the highest vibration they can get to, is pride, and then they fall back down to shame. And they're in shame every day because they can never repent, they can never do right, and they can never give equal reciprocity. They have to be parasites, they have to be predators every single day, and they can never give nothing. If anything, it could be a few dollar bills, and that's only to get more out of you and to abuse you more. So if you can give me a like, a subscription, and a thumbs up, just know that the fuel the narcissist gives is evil. They take what you give, your love, and they convert it for evil. They can never be happy. They'll always be miserable. They're a hollow shell of a self, of the human being, if we even call them that, because they're more like artificial intelligence. And if you don't see them reaping their negative reward here, or reaping what they sow here, best believe, in darkness at night and in times when they're trying to rest. See, that's when this reciprocity comes at you. They may not tell you that, but there's a lot of times where they're trying to rest and they can't rest their head. There's nothing worse than trying to rest and you can't rest your head, because you have been devising evil. But nevertheless, when they leave this earth, best know that you'll have a crown waiting, and they will have a torturous life, way beyond whatever they put you through. So thank you for watching. If you can give me a like, subscription, and a thumbs up, I love all y'all. Peace, and stand tall. Until next time, soldier up. We out.